Welcome back to this channel. Today we will be reading the second chapter, Cavalry and the Thief of the novel Grandma's Bag of Stories.
Written by Sudhamurti.
Sudhamurti.
So let's start without wasting further time. So we shall start.
Cavalry and the Thief.
Kaveri and the Thief.
Kaveri and the Thief. The children had gone with their Ajja to the paddy fields that morning. They were all city kids and did not know a thing about farming. On the way, Anand was surprised to see a bird's nest on top of the tree. He said to Ajja, I wonder how birds decide where and how to make their nests. Ajja said, the straw in the nest is from the paddy field. Do you know farming helps human beings as well as birds? Krishna replied, Ajja, I thought wheat and rice can be just plucked from trees like mangoes. But today I realized there is so much work in farming. That afternoon, after lunch, when they gathered around Ajji for the day's story, she looked sharply at the kids.
At the children.
They had enjoyed learning about farming activities like cleaning seeds and separating the straw from paddy. In the city, everything came from the supermarket. But here, they had seen how things were really produced. Ajji said, farming is very important. If farmers do not grow any food, what will we eat?
What will we?
What will we all eat? Anand said thoughtfully, if farmers do such important work, why are they so poor?
That's true, my dear. Ajji sighed, fanning herself. Of course, there are rich farmers too, people who own lots of land, but many in our country till small pieces of land and so make less money. Then, seeing the kids' crestfallen faces, she put down her fan, sat up, and said, but I can tell you of a poor farmer woman who did not remain very poor, all due to her sharp wit. Tell Ajji, do tell, the kids yelled. So Ajji started her story. Kaveri's lazy husband annoyed her no end. There she was working like a donkey. Donkey or donkey?
Donkey. I choose donkey. Papa says donkey.
Let's see.
Let's see. I win.
Donkey.
Yeah, I won. Donkey.
Donkey.
Donkey, you are right.
Donkey. There she was working like a donkey in the fields, plowing.
Plowing? Is it plowing?
Yes, plowing.
Do you know what is the meaning of plowing? हाँ?
No.
No. खेत में हल बात है ना?
Plowing और digging in the land little bit में क्या difference है?
एक तो लैंड को डिग करते हैं, एक हल से खेतों को जोते हैं, उसको बोलते हैं
Plow.
Plowing.
Okay.
But Papa, plowing.
See, this is the way.
तो सिर्फ plowing करते तो थोड़ा सा dig करते तो सेम हुआ.
थोड़ा सा करते हैं, लेकिन ठीक है, डिग करते तो एक ही जगह करेंगे ना, ऐसे डिग करना, डिग लैंड करते हैं.
पूरा dig लैंड नहीं, थोड़ा
हाँ तो थोड़ा
फार्मिंग में
किसी से भी कर सकते हैं ना डिग. ऐसे इंटेंशनल नहीं होता कि हाँ डिग करना, जैसे कि पहाड़े से या फिर किसी से डिग करना, हाथों से भी कर लेते हैं, लकड़ी से भी कर लेते हैं, थोड़ा डिग कर लेते हैं खेलने के लिए. लेकिन यहाँ पे खेतों को मतलब अनाज बोया जाएगा इसमें, तो उसके लिए प्लाउ करते हैं. प्लाउ. ओके, सो दिस इज द वे.
दोबारा बताओ.
डिग का मतलब होता है, चलो लेट्स सी द मीनिंग ऑफ डिग. प्लाउ अंडरस्टूड?
या
Plow understood, Navisha?
हाँ, plow.
Now let's see the dig. Digging the land, That's the meaning you want to say. So this is the way. Manually with hand, like they are digging. So she's digging. Now I think you understood the difference between.
with the हल करते हैं तो उसे कहते हैं
Plow.
और लेकिन जब हाथ से करते हैं
हाथ से ऐसे करते हैं ना, इसे कहते हैं, इसको डिगिंग द लैंड. ओके
डिग करते हैं, ऐसा दिखता है जब डिग हो जाता है, और प्लो करते हैं तो
ब्लॉक करते हैं तो यू सॉ दैट राइट।
वैसे दिखाता है। प्लो करते तो थोड़ा कम ऊपर होता है,
हाँ कम ऊपर करते, ज़्यादा डिग नहीं करते।
और
ठीक है,
डिग करते तो डिग डिग भी
हाँ
प्लो,
गहरा करते हैं ना, जो यहाँ पे देखो थोड़ा
डिग
थोड़ा,
गहरा ना करे, बिल्कुल प्लो की तरह करे
तो वो एक डिगी कहला जाएगा, क्योंकि वो थोड़ी सी जगह पे हुआ है, थोड़े एरिया में। ये देखो ये
थोड़े
पूरे,
से रहने में नहीं, पूरे फील्ड में
तो अगर
ऐसे
पूरे फील्ड
डिग
में
करे।
इस तरह से करेंगे तो दैट विल बी कॉल्ड प्लाव।
लेकिन अगर पूरे फील्ड में डिगिंग करे,
तो उसको बोलते हैं प्लाव।
पूरे फील्ड में डिगिंग को
हाँ
कहते हैं।
हाँ हाँ प्लाव। डिगिंग मतलब जब तुम डिग का वर्ड बोलती हो ना, तो हमेशा तो ऐसा लगता है कि जैसे कि ज़्यादा गहरा डिग, ओके वहाँ यूज होता है ये। यहाँ पे थोड़ा थोड़ा डिग कर रहे हैं, ये पे थोड़ा मिट्टी बाहर निकाल रहे हैं ऐसे खोद के, ऐसे हल जोत के, हल जोतना जैसे, ऐसे देखो। कैन यू सी?
हाँ।
Okay, now shall we go ahead? Now, what is the pronunciation
फ्लो
of
में,
this word?
फ्लो
Ply.
में अगर हम पूरे एरिया को
Plow.
डिग करें तो उसे प्लो कहते हैं।
हाँ।
लेकिन अगर बस एक पर्टिकुलर एरिया को थोड़ा सा डिग करें तो डिग कहते हैं। लेकिन अगर पूरे फील्ड में कह रहे कि द लैंड वाज डिग्ड,
अब जब आप
नॉट
बोलते
प्लोड
हो
बट
ना डिग,
लिग्ड।
है ना, जब डिग बोलते हो तो ऐसा लगता है ज्यादा गहरा खोदना, मीनिंग वहां यूज होता है डिग का। ओके
लेकिन अगर कम गहरा खोदना उसे प्लो।
हाँ, खेतों में अगर हल जोतते हैं या कुछ अनाज उगाने के लिए उसको जमीन को थोड़ा थोड़ा खोदते हैं तो उसको बोलते हैं प्लाव।
और डिग, और
Plow.
डिग, और डिग अगर किसी भी तरह से फार्मिंग के लिए या किसी भी लिए अगर हम
Plow.
उसे थोड़ा ज्यादा ज्यादा देर डिग करते हैं,
हाँ तो उसको डिग बोलते हैं।
यानी अगर हम कहें द लैंड वाज नॉट प्लॉड, इट वाज स्लाइटली डिग्ड, मतलब
हम लोग वहाँ हल जोता नहीं गया क्योंकि लैंड को खोदा गया। अब से कि अगर खेत में अगर नीचे सोना दबा हुआ है, उसको निकालना है तो डिग करेंगे, उसको ज़्यादा गहरा खोदेंगे उस सोने को निकालने के लिए।
तो इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? द लैंड वाज नॉट प्लॉड, इट वाज डिग्ड अ लिटिल।
मैं तो बोलना कि इट वाज नॉट, वो इस लैंड को जोता नहीं गया, उसको खोदा गया।
तो
हिंदी में हो गया ना, जोतना और खोदना में डिफरेंस हो गया ना भैया।
यानी ये उसे उसे डीप में खोदा गया,
हाँ
और वो भी जगह जगह डीपली।
हाँ।
ओके, आगे।
Okay, shall we go ahead? There she was working like a donkey in the fields, plowing and watering and tending a hard,
Dry piece of land, while her husband snored away happily. Happily at home. Why, once when a stranger came asking for some food and water, he just pointed towards the kitchen and went back to sleep. The stranger, thankfully, was an honest man and took only enough for himself and his horse. Not that there was much to steal in Kaveri's little house. They were poor farmers with only a patch of land where nothing seemed to grow. Somehow, Kaveri tilled the land. Tilled मतलब?
Till and चल let's see the understanding. जैसे ऐसे
प्लो, हाँ? टिल्ड मतलब प्लो, हाँ?
नॉट कैन नॉट बी टिल, जैसे कि कभी जैसे हल जोत लिए विषय, ठीक है, तो हल जोतने के बाद में मिट्टी के ऐसे बन जाते हैं, डले से बन जाते हैं, तो उनको पीसने के लिए यूज करते हैं।
पीसने के लिए
मतलब उनको बारीक बनाने के लिए।
बारीक मतलब?
टिल बारीक मतलब फाइन, फाइन एंड कोर्स। सी
जैसे कहीं ना कहीं दबाने के लिए।
हम्म,
क्या करने के लिए? तो दबाने के लिए, हाँ?
till is defined as to prepare land for crops to be planted by plowing and fertilizing. An example of to till is turning over the land in a garden. ठीक है, हाँ, till का मतलब ये हुआ विषय कि जब लैंड होती है ना, तो जब हॉल जोत लेते हैं आई मीन प्लाव कर लेते हैं, तो प्लाव के बाद में कुछ उसके अंदर थोड़े बहुत पत्थर भी रहते हैं ज़मीन में, ठीक है। ज़मीन के अंदर पत्थर भी रहते हैं और कुछ मिट्टी के डले ना थोड़े बहुत मोटे मोटे होते हैं, टाइट होते हैं, तो उनको पीसने के लिए और जो छोटे छोटे कंकड़ होते हैं उनको हटाने के लिए उस एक्शन को बोलते हैं टिल द ग्राउंड, ओके। और जब प्लांट उगाते हैं ना, तो मतलब प्लांट उगाने के लिए भूमि को तैयार करना वो टिल बोलते हैं। जो ज़मीन को जैसे खोदते हैं ना, जोतते हैं, तो उसको बोलते थे प्लाव, और जो फिर उसको प्रिपेयर करते हैं ना, जैसे कि भाई हाँ यहाँ पे अब बीज बोएंगे, तो उसको बोलते हैं टिल, ओके। ये देखो ये कर रहा है, ओके, जैसे ये भी कर रहा है। कभी कभी मैनुअल करना पड़ता है, कभी कभी किसी मशीन के थ्रू करना पड़ता है।
मशीन के थ्रू कैसे होता है?
मशीन के थ्रू जैसे कि हमेशा हल जोत लिया, फिर क्या होता है उसको पूरा एक बार हल जोत लिया, प्लाव कर लिया, उसके बाद में फिर पूरे ज़मीन को फ्लैट करते हैं, ठीक है, और फ्लैट में से करके वो कंकड़ वगैरह बाहर निकाल देते हैं, फिर वापस से हल जोत लेते हैं। ऐसा प्रोसेस होता है ज़मीन में, ओके। तो वो जो मशीन यूज़ करते हैं उसको कंकड़ बाहर निकालने के लिए।
ओके,
गॉट इट। नाउ लेट्स सी वेयर वर वी। somehow Kaveri, हाँ,
Somehow Kaveri tilled the land, did some odd jobs in the neighborhood, and made ends meet. Ends meet मतलब?
एंड्स मीट का मतलब होता है कि जैसे कि मैं काम कर रहा हूँ, क्यों काम कर रहा हूँ, मैं ऑफिस जाता हूँ, क्यों ऑफिस जाता हूँ, ताकि मुझे सैलरी मिले तो फिर मेरे को खाना मिले, ठीक है। तो जो खाना मिलने की जिसको बोलते हैं एंड्स मीट, ताकि मेरी ज़रूरत पूरी हो जाए, उसको बोलते हैं एंड्स मीट। इसलिए वर्ड से आया है कि आप पूरे दिन भर काम करते हो और शाम के फिर थका के बैठ के खाना खाते हो, तो खाना जो मिलना होता है उसको एंड्स मीट, वहाँ से आया ये वर्ड, ठीक है।
Neighborhood and made ends meet. The land was right next to a temple. On some days, her husband would come along with her on the pretext
नहीं, प्रिटेक्स्ट।
मतलब
प्रिटेक्स्ट मतलब कि बहाना, क्योंकि जैसे कि हेल्पिंग हर, उसकी मदद करने के बहाने से आया वो, नहीं तुम्हें?
हाँ,
लाइक फॉर एग्जाम्पल you go to Harika in the pretext of playing with her, but you don't play with her. मतलब तुम उसके पास जाते हो उसके साथ खेलने के बहाने से, लेकिन क्या करते हो, वहाँ बैठ के आप स्टोरी पढ़ने लग जाते हो, ओके। समझ में आ गया?
हाँ।
ओके, नाउ लेट्स सी।
With her, the pretext of helping her. Pretext of helping her, but no sooner would her back be turned than she would find him stretched out near the temple courtyard, gossiping with passing villagers. One day, as she was working in the field, trying to dig up the ground so she could sow some seeds, a thin man with a big mustache appeared beside her.
Mustache. Let's see the pronunciation of this mustache. Mustache.
मूछ मैं जानती हूँ, mustache मतलब मूछ.
That's right. But pronunciation do you know?
मैं कहती हूँ mustache.
Mustache.
Mustache. ये बहुत बड़ा हूँ.
Mustache. नहीं mustache. Mustache. दिखाओ स्लो में दिखाओ.
Mustache.
देखो learn to pronounce दबाओ. Learn to pronounce. Mustache.
Okay. Shall we go ahead? Next.
Mustache.
Where are we? No.
One day, appeared beside her.
Appeared beside her.
A big mustache appeared.
Mustache.
Appeared.
A big mustache. A thin man with a big mustache appeared beside her. He was a thief. Read over here.
He was a thief, up to no good. Kaveri, of course, did not know this. She greeted him politely and went back to her work. Now the thief wanted to steal the coins that were given as offerings in the temple. Perhaps,
And
and perhaps, even the ornaments on the idol. The only way into the temple was by digging his
by
way
digging his way,
in from Kaveri's land. But how could he do anything there with his tough,
with this stuff.
with this tough no nonsense woman? No, with this tough no nonsense मतलब
नो में कि नॉनसेंस होता है कि जो खराब चीज़ है, ठीक है. नो नॉनसेंस में कि वो खराब नहीं है. अभी बोलते हैं डोंट टॉक नॉनसेंस थिंग्स, ऐसे बोलते हैं ना.
इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? With this
टफ नॉन नॉनसेंस वुमन वर्किंग अवे, मतलब ये सोच रहा है ऐसी, बट हाउ कुड ही डू एनीथिंग देयर, वो ऐसे वहाँ कैसे कर सकता है विद दिस टफ नॉन नॉनसेंस वुमन वर्किंग अवे. मतलब कि जो लेडी है ना वो टफ है और नॉनसेंस बातें नहीं करती है.
टफ मतलब
टफ मीन्स स्ट्रॉन्ग, कि भी हाँ स्ट्रिक्ट, कि हाँ ऐसी मैं तुम्हें बोलता हूँ बार बार पढ़ने के लिए, तो दैट मीन्स आई एम टफ, आई एम नॉट लीनियंट, आई एम टफ. ओके, अगर बोलूँ तो मैं बोलता नहीं हूँ ना, आई एम नॉट टफ, आई एम लीनियंट, राइट?
I don't know.
So with this tough nonsense,
maybe
working away.
Maybe you're tough or
Now I think you got it, this meaning.
With this tough no nonsense woman working away, guessing Kaveri was hard up for money, he whispered to her sister, "Why are you working so hard on this barren land? I will give you 1,000 rupees. Sell it to me." Barren मतलब?
Barren means जहाँ कुछ अनाज वगैरह उगता नहीं है.
हाँ.
सूखी भूमि, उपजाऊ नहीं है. Barren. Barren. You want to see the barren?
Okay.
Barren.
This is the land. सूखा पूरा, जमीन उगती नहीं, अनाज उगता नहीं है. Okay. Next.
On this barren land, I will give you 1,000 rupees. Sell it to me. Kaveri raised her eyebrows. Why did he? Kaveri raised her eyebrows.
Eyebrows नहीं.
Eyebrow.
You also wrong. Eyebrow.
Eyebrows.
Eyebrows. Okay. Eyebrows.
Kaveri raised her eyebrows. Why did he want to buy the land for so much money? Surely something was wrong. The thief sensed she was not about to sell it to him, so he raised his price. 1,050?
1,050.
No. 2,000. No again. 5,000? No. Kaveri kept shaking her head. She did not like this odd-looking man who was offering her so much money for the field. Clearly, he had some evil plans. Finally, to keep him quiet, she made up a story. I will never sell this land. You see, it belonged to my ancestors. Now we are poor. But I am told that once our family was very rich. Though we lost a lot of our money, much of it was also buried here in this field by one ancestor. To keep it safe from robbers. Then people forgot about it for years and years. My husband found a clue to the location of the hidden treasure just a few days back. Why do you think I am digging this hard earth? Now, not to sow seeds. Oh no. That's just what everyone thinks. Everyone thinks. I am actually looking for hidden treasure. The thief was stunned. He felt this woman was really innocent, giving such important information to a stranger. He thought, why should I not take advantage of the situation? Here he was hoping to steal a few coins from the temple, and this woman was telling him about hidden treasure. He replied in a very humble way, "Yes, sister, I understand. After all, it is your family. It is your family treasure. Only you should get it." He pretended to walk away and went and hid himself a little way down the road. Night fell. Kaveri packed up her tools and headed home. The temple too
Emptied.
emptied emptied out, and the priest locked it up for the night. Then at midnight, when all was quiet and the night creatures were coming out of their homes, the thief crept into the field. All night he dug and dug, looking for treasure, but of course there was no sign of it, as there never had been any treasure to begin with. By the time dawn broke, he realized Kaveri had made a fool of him, and all he could do now was get away from the field fast.
When Kaveri reached the field, she grinned to herself, just as she had expected. The thief had spent the night digging up the land nicely for her. All she needed to do now was sow the seeds. She worked hard in the field for the next few months and managed to grow a good crop. She sold those, and finally they had some money. With a part of this money, Kaveri bought some jewelry. This is the thief was digging the land, right, for treasure, but he didn't get.
In Kaveri.
Yeah.
In Kaveri's work was done.
Okay. Many months later, the thief decided to show his face in the village again. He was careful to disguise.
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 Okay,
Disguise.
was right. He was careful to disguise himself, though.
Though
He trimmed his long mustaches, tied a colorful turban, and pretended to be a traveling salesman. No sooner had he stepped into the village than he saw Kaveri going about her work. But what is this? Instead of the simple instead of the simple unadorned lady,
unadorned.
adorned मतलब कि सजी हुई,
सजी हुई मतलब
कि आप गहने लगाना हो ऐसे ऐसे, पहले कोई गहना ज्वेलरी लगाना कानों में या फिर गले में, ऐसे सजना.
हाँ unadorned.
अनअडोर्न मीन्स नहीं सजना, सिंपल,
Unadorned.
बिना मतलब ज्वेलरी के से. Instead of the simple unadorned lady he saw last year, she was now wearing jewelry which looked as though it had been in the family for years. Surely she must have located that missing treasure finally. He was determined to look in her house and find the rest of her money and treasure. That night he appeared at Kaveri's house and said to her husband, "I am a traveler and don't have a place to spend the night. Please give me shelter for the night." Kaveri's husband agreed immediately. Agreed immediately. Kaveri, however, glimpsed the man
Glimpsed
from
मतलब
देखना, थोड़ा सा देखना इसे. Glimpsed the man from inside the house and saw through his disguise. She knew he must be planning some robbery, so she said in a loud voice, making sure the visitor heard her. Okay, so she said in a loud voice, making sure the visitor heard her, "Oh dear, your dear aunt is all alone at night and has asked us to come stay with her. You know how the dark scares her when your uncle is not there. Come, let's go there for the night." Then, lowering her voice a bit, yet making sure she was heard clearly, she continued, "Don't worry about the jewels. I have hidden them in little holes in the house walls. No one will suspect the hiding spot." Then she came out and in her normal voice told the thief, Brother, you can sleep in the veranda. The house will be locked. Here is some food and water for you. We will come tomorrow morning. The thief smiled to himself at Kaveri's foolishness. Her husband, meanwhile, stared at her with an open mouth, wondering which aunt and what jewels she was talking about. When she firmly walked off, he followed obediently. The thief could not believe his luck. He had the entire night to comb through the house, tap all the walls, and look for the hidden stash of gold ornaments. So he started. Tap, tap, tap.
टैप 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 मतलब
ऐसे करते हैं ना, टक टक टक. Kick.
टप टप टप, ये टैप टैप नहीं, टप टप टप.
Okay, kick, punch, and show.
शो मतलब
धक्का देने से. He prowled.
प्राउड मतलब
Let's see the meaning of this word.
this right?
Yeah. Click there. Yeah. Come down.
Prowl.
Used about an animal that is hunting, or a person who is waiting for a chance to steal something or do something to move around an area quietly so that you are not seen or heard. Okay. Come again. We'll see the images. See, this is a tiger. What is he doing? He's waiting for his
शिकार.
शिकार. हिरन का वेट कर रही है तो उसको बोलते prowl. Okay. The
It
leopard
is
also.
prowling.
Okay, now we'll go next. One more word we'll see, Usha.
Okay, tell me what.
What was that show? You have to see the show.
Wait a minute. Sorry. Show.
See.
Show what?
Come to the girl is showing, right?
Yeah.
To the man. Next, come down. Okay,
I'll
come down.
need to show you off.
Come down, Usha. This is a more meaning. She's also showing.
When?
He's also showing off these clothes inside the showing. Okay, this man also like this also, right? Okay, now next one will go. Okay, bring it down. Bring this page down. Understood now? No, yeah. Okay, now. Okay, then down Usha. Kick, punch, and show. He prowled and he tabbed. He click there. He kicked and he pushed the walls, hoping to spot the jewels. Finally, he tore down all the walls, but of course, there was nothing he could find.
Exhausted, he fell asleep and awoke only with the crowing of the cock and as the sun rose. Quickly, he found his little bundle of things and ran off. Within minutes, Kaveri and her husband returned. "Oh, Kaveri, see what the bad man has done to our house. You gave him food and shelter and made me come with you, leaving the man alone in the night." Her husband wailed. Wailed मतलब
ऐसे रोना ऐसे बोलते ना कि परेशान
But
हो
Kaveri
जाना।
was smiling. Then she broke into peals of laughter and said, "Don't worry, I had planned this all along. You see, I saved money from our last crop to rebuild the house. I needed to call in some laborers to help
Laborers नहीं है, laborers.
to help tear it down.
Tear it down.
But our guest has done it for us.
Done it for us.
Now we can make a larger house for ourselves, just the way we always wanted." The whole village heard the story and started marveling
Marveling means आश्चर्यचकित होना.
marveling at her intelligence. Many months flew by. The thief was burning to take revenge. How dare that village woman trick him? That too not once but twice. He realized that she was very clever. One day he dressed up as a bangle seller and started wandering in the village. Kaveri spotted him and knew who he was at once. She said to her friends, who were crowding around the bangle seller, "Oh dear, I would have loved to get some for myself. But ever since that good for nothing thief tried to steal all our money by tearing down our house, I have hidden everything in a little hole in a tree in the woods." "Which tree?" her friends asked. "Oh no, I am not saying which tree, but it is at last safe and sound out in the forest." The thief looked at her. Yes, Kaveri was wearing an ordinary sari with no ornaments at all. Her friends turned around in astonishment at the crash with which the bangle seller flung down his collection of bangles and made off for the forest. Only Kaveri watched her with a grin on her face.
Green on her face.
Green on her face.
Green मतलब थोड़ा सा मुस्कुराने से.
I know. Out in the forest, the thief searched high and low for the jewels. He climbed trees, poked around in bushes, got bitten, scratched, and growled at, but he would not give up. The jewels were there somewhere, and he had to find them. So that is where we will leave him, prowling around in the forest, looking for money and gold that don't belong to him. Everyone praised Kaveri for her quick wit in riding the village of
No, not riding, reading. Quick wit in reading the village of the thief. Get rid of.
She continued to work hard and made more money from her farming and became a rich old lady. Even her husband was shamed into giving up his lazy ways and helping her. As for the thief, who knows, perhaps he is still in that forest, looking for what was never his. Now, if only he had learned to work hard like Kaveri, he would have been as rich. The children laughed and laughed when the story was over. The poor thief. Meanwhile, Krishna giggled. Maybe he got eaten by a tiger.
By a tiger.
Or Ajji grinned. See, she told Anand, sometimes with a bit of luck and lots of pluck, people can change any situation in which they find themselves. Pluck matlab?
तोड़ना. Pluck flowers. Don't pluck flowers.
इसका मतलब क्या है? With a bit of luck and lots of luck.
No.
हाँ, अब तो पता चल गया. यानी थोड़ा सा लक और थोड़ी सी लक है और बहुत सारा उसका बहुत ज़्यादा फायदा करता है.
मेहनत. थोड़ा सा लक और बहुत ज़्यादा मेहनत. अगर आप पढ़ोगे नहीं, अब सोचे कि यार मेरा लक होगा तो मैं पास हो जाऊंगी, हैं? लक पे डिपेंड करता है, गलत चीज़ है. आपको मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी और थोड़ा सा लक हो तो आपको वो क्वेश्चन आ जाएंगे जो तुम्हें अच्छे से आते हैं. ओके, तो बोलते हैं with a bit of luck and lots of pluck, people can change any situation in which they find themselves. Okay, I think so. That's all in this video. I hope you like this video. If you like it, then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. You're sleeping?
I'm dozing off. Bye.
Bye. See you in the next video. Next video will cover next chapter. Next
Good
story.
night.
Good night. It's not a good night. Okay, bye.